Hey guys, as you can see, I'm fighting with all the equipment here. I let the technicians have the day off. Yes, as you can see. Oh, and my roses showed up here. I'm struggling. The laptop's fighting back. Actually, it's a Chromebook, so it gets insulted when I say that. Oh, my word. I tried once again, and yes, I'm fidgeting. I asked once again, and I studied until midnight so that I would be able, because again, I'm learning this, and you've got Lady Hippy at the bar with entertainment purposes only, and I'm going to be here all week. I do weigh less. The camera puts 40 pounds on, not 10, ladies, just warning you. So out the gate, we're going to get a lot of stuff in there. I'm scared William has done something to Catherine. Princess Catherine has not been seen since Christmas Day. Supposedly underwent strictly some type of normal procedure, abdominal procedure. And in today's world, and I can vouch for that, I've had several, they're fast, and you're out of there fast. Some are usually done with a laparoscopy, as a matter of fact, and not even having to do any opening of the abdomen. In any event, it's scary. I've never seen, and I never met Kate or Lady Diana. And I thought Lady Diana was the classiest, and I still do, most beautiful young lady. And she would have made a lovely queen, as well as she had a mother and a wife. And yet, here comes Catherine. Diana would have approved her from day one. They would have gone like a house on fire. This woman has charm, grace, class, intelligence. She loved William with all her heart. It's obvious to see. Her children, she just adored them. She loves the British people. She loves that they can help. And she has given up a lot. She too has a huge degree from the best schools in Britain. Her family were notably wealthy as well. She just did not have that title. And they had dated off and on and off and on. And Will had not been faithful many times. And I worried about that when they married, but they looked so happy and they had the 3 children. And one night I watched a clip, and when he reached for her, she did that. She was, and they went on with talking. Yeah. It's been on 3 minutes, just trying to see if I'm watching. Just, I've made that move. And it's touched me, and I'll kill you where you sit. And the only way a woman will make that kind of move is if you've been unfaithful and they know it and they got proof. There's no doubt. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt. And I saw that move and I cried for hours because I know that your whole world is shattered. It's gone. Because that world doesn't exist anymore. And she kept trying. This affair happened while she was having her 3rd child. I mean, and they used it as a rumor and said it wasn't true or all that. It was. There was no other reason for Catherine to make such a move. They weren't in it for the people. She was sitting on the front of a fireplace. He was sitting on a chair and he reached out. She saw him reaching out to touch her shoulder. You know, I've been there. I mean, it hurt, and you've been hit. It's like you can't even breathe. You've just been hit in the stomach, and all your air has escaped, and you can't seem to get air back in. And it doesn't last for a minute and an hour. That lasts for years. It really lasts the rest of your lifetime. You don't ever get over it. Ever. And in some cases, it does push women to suicide. I don't know what's going on with that. This is some pictures where she was, and they were recent. And she always stuck her tongue out, inside her cheek when she was very upset. And she would grin her teeth together when she was very angry. And the fact that her teeth were touching was a dead giveaway that she really wasn't smiling. But only the we women who've had that, who've done that, understood what we were seeing. And we just, my heart bleeds for her. She is, again, the classiest woman, most beautiful, charming, intelligent lady I have ever seen besides Lady Diana. Literally. Queen Elizabeth II more than approved of Catherine. Diana, too, would have approved her hands down. Um, and I think she sees from the other side. But whatever has happened here, William has done something. I seen it. I mean, I know people don't believe people who see things maybe, and they think we're a little loco. But I did see it, and I'm praying that I'm wrong. I very rarely will accept things like that as prophetic or as a medium or any of those things. I won't usually accept it, but what I saw, I've only seen one other time, and it really did happen to my friend the way I saw it. And I lost her. She died. But this was the 90s, and they weren't as good with head injuries then. The other words I heard was that they had placed Princess Catherine in a medical coma. They don't do that for a couple of reasons. And the main reason is are not, your body is not functioning by itself. So the machines are put in, you're intubated so that it makes sure you breathe. A food tube is inserted to make sure you get nutrients, oxygen, and so forth. And they medically induce your coma. I lost 3 friends like this one on our 21st birthday, so it's hard to speak of. And if William has done something, I hope there's not a rock big enough to hide him. I don't know what his mother was thinking right now. I think Charles is shielding him and came out with I've got cancer thing to try to take some of the press away from William and Kate onto him. We're Kate Middleton's mother, and they call her Middleton, but she's not. She's Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, Princess Catherine of Windsor. She's a princess and in waiting to be queen. And she's more than qualified. Again, Elizabeth loved Catherine, and she approved wholeheartedly of Catherine. She just did not like Meghan, and I don't either. I didn't like her from day one. But that's not up to me to like her. Harry had the right to pick who he wanted, and he did. And I hope he's extremely happy with him and his wife and kids. It's not me to judge. Uh, I'm just saying, as a whole, something was off-putting about the young lady. But again, that's not up to me. However, they need to do something about proving that our Catherine is okay. People are actually screaming for proof of life at this point, and that's scary. And there was a prophecy that said there would be only one queen left. I'm sorry, king, after Queen Elizabeth II, and that the monarchy would then be dissolved. Charles is already king. He's not abdicating. He's not stepping down. And if this prophecy is real, Charles would never stepping down, then William would never be king. Now, could that be due to something else? And what I saw, they were fighting. Somehow he, lashed out, and she fell down a huge marble staircase at Kensington and struck her head several times. And I saw the blood just running from where she landed. And I pray that what I saw, but I had no reason to see this. I had no reason to dream it. And that's what scares me. Especially when then they said that very day she was placed in a medical coma. So I'm going to let that kind of stay there. I haven't looked that up yet because it's kind of personal to me. And these 3 children. It's bad enough with Lady Di's kids, 13 and 10. So we'll keep watching, see how that goes. In politics, of course, you still got the DA stealing from the property that's been seized from others, in particular, a rapper. I can't think of his name either. I'm afraid I don't keep up with hip hop. 50s to 2000 with all the dance moves and stuff that I get. I don't get the rapper thing, so I'm afraid I can't say who it was, but they got $1.5 million of his jewelry, his cars, his house. I mean, wow. So apparently they got into that fund because the jewelry was supposed to come back to this young man. It wasn't proved that he did anything wrong, I think. In any event, or give it to whoever it belonged to. I think maybe it did belong not so much to the rapper, but they had lent it to him from a jewelry store or something, maybe along those lines. I don't know, but it was supposed to have been recovered, and they don't have it. So they have 4 pieces, and there was a lot. So they spent $1 million, just about what's missing. So that's fun to watch. So I don't know what's going on next with them. The judge is still the same judge. Excuse me, she is still, from what I understand, the Atlanta DA charging Trump. Trump had to put $500 million in cash in the bank to cover the charge that he's under waiting appeal. For some reason, we are interfering. And yes, we are definitely interfering. We're not, I'm going to burn my mic. We're not, I should put that. They say we're helping Israel. And then on a hot mic, old Joe says, well, Netanyahu needs to come to Jesus moment. You need to find the bathroom, you dumbass. What? So I'm a little peeved about that because this sucker is still. I mean, he actually said, and I know I've watched Peter since he was a boy. Peter Ducey, he's a White House reporter now. I've watched him since he was a little boy on Fox, and his father was just the weatherman, and the channel was free. They'd started the home only channel in San Antonio, and it was free. And he used to bring his kid down there. This kid I thought was going to become a meteorologist. Now I'm trying to get hair in the right place. I'm having one of those days. So in any event, they don't seem to like him at the White House because he actually answers when they don't give him the right questions, answers back. He answers that, and he's like a little bulldog. But again, they're leaving. They've got the press corps. They're shooing him out. And I get on a hot mic. This screwed up asshole turns around and said, "That's a stupid son of a bitch. I just sued him for defamation of character. I give a damn if he's the president or not." Mm-mm-mm. I mean, it's beyond belief when they do crap like that. And this guy is supposed to. It's embarrassing. That man doesn't represent me. I'll tell you what, he don't represent me, never will. Not him, his administration, his other liars, his thieves, they're traitors, every one of them. And if you look at Congress as a body, you can pick up all but like 5 of them on treason. And then you could hit the FBI and the CIA. Again, treason. And if you ask anyone in my parents' age, they'll tell you in a heartbeat who killed JFK. And it wasn't an outside source. Just saying. They'll probably take that down too because I'm in the mood. We didn't go on UFOs yet, but they had a whole panel in front of Congress testifying that they're real, that they've actually got them. They even have the aliens. I've heard about the domes from the man who used to build them. And he said that he went down into one and there was a huge fight between the aliens and the army that was down there. A dome is a deep underground military bunker. That's what that stands for. They're like cities. And they were fighting and they were dying. And he had a gun. I think he had a 45. So he began to fire to try to help the army, the military that was dying. And a master sergeant kept getting him to the ladder. He'd come down and kept screaming at him to go up and to get out and to seal it. He was shot. It was. He said it was just a light laser. Is what it looked like in the stomach, and it took off part of his hand. And I mean, it when it hit his stomach, it took like half of him in that area. And the sergeant died. The master sergeant died getting him out of there. And he went on a tour and he showed people the damage and he talked about what had happened. I can't think of his name. And he said, and I think this was, yeah, it was the 90s. I wish his name would come to me. But he was trying to warn people that these cities were right under our feet and were massive, and there was a lot of aliens that didn't like us. And then apparently the military had agreed that they could take so many humans per whatever month and keep them to experiment on. And I shit you not, you can't make this stuff up. This, and I've known this for some time. And that if something happened to him, he did not commit suicide. He did not run off the road. Somebody killed him because of what he was telling them. It was less than a week later they found him in a hotel with the window shade cord wrapped around his neck, and they called it suicide. So if you know something, they will either erase you like they did with Bob Lazar. And I believed him, and I don't know why. Basically, he said there was a material that was not yet on the scales of, I can't even think of it now. In any event, they called it an impendium, and it had not yet been added to those. And I'd never heard of it. And I thought, if you're making up something, a new metal or whatever it is, an impendium, it was a strange thing. And here it was like 35 years later, and I'm watching it as the periodic table. I couldn't think of it. And suddenly it was like 2016, an impendium had been found, and it was now number 116 or 118, whatever it was. I got a lot of grief back when I said something about that on YouTube. You're just a housewife. You, of course, have no idea. I was like, I'm a housewife now, you jackass. That doesn't mean I was always a housewife. And even housewives have brains, you jackass. You know, so, and they attack you like that. You're talking about something that's for real. They don't have any reason to attack you otherwise. But I just signed off. You know, there was no point. You don't talk to stupid people. I don't. If you're going to attack me out the gate, have fun, take a deep breath, because I'm not going to respond to that. I see no reason to say, you're an idiot. It's a waste of my breath. But it didn't go down well when I pointed that out. And since I pointed that out a few years back now, they've changed the name of that on the periodic table. And I think they changed the placement of it as well. And they don't call it an impendum anymore. They've also made announcements of the memory medal. If anyone remembers some of the things about this, uh, the young man that took the report and was told by his commanding officer to tell them they had a flying disc. And then the next day, this colonel shows up and said they had a weather balloon. Don't talk about it. But he had taken some of the pieces home and woke the wife and the son up. And they would crush this metal, and it would just go right back to the shape it was. So memory metal. So they had seen this, and the young man was just a very like boy, 8 or 9 years old, but he remembered it. And they made his dad take that photograph for the newspaper, and you could see this wasn't the truth at all. That this was the only wing in the United States Army that dealt with the nuclear weapons, and this guy was a World War II hero as well. There's no way he made a mistake in that wreckage between a weather balloon and a flying saucer and dead aliens. He did not miss that. I mean, you could be somebody with a sixth grade education. You wouldn't flip and miss that shit. Okay. And there was nothing there, nothing to see, but they cleaned it all up for 4 or 5 days. How the hell big was that balloon? And then they came back and it was, it was a weather balloon with dummies, and that's why they thought they saw somebody and it was live, and that wasn't alive or was alive because they were dummies. And if nothing freaking happened, why do you keep coming up with a new story every decade anyway? The last time I heard about it was nothing happened at Roswell, it's closed. So at the same time, another reason I believe Lazar was he said he was working at Area 51, but he was at S2 at Area 51. Nobody knew that there was an S2. Even I didn't find that out till later, but I remember the interviews they did with Bob. And I kept thinking, they're going to kill you, son. You've got to hide in a deep hole. They're going to kill you. I knew that boy was telling the truth, without a doubt. I don't know why. You just knew. Basically, again, because some of the things that he said, there wasn't any reason to make it. I love that one of the terms he used for one of the saucers was a fast walker. That's a fast walker. And mind you, his friends are like Mr. Lear. Does that name ring a bell with anybody? Sure, it does. Yeah, he didn't have little friends that came by and borrowed a cup of sugar. This guy was friends with Mr. Lear and a few other big ones. This guy did what he said he did, and he should have been treated better. But of course, back then they were still, no, this is not true, and they spent more time covering this up than they did. Um, I don't know. I can't understand it. They said, oh, they covered it up or supposedly did this, that, or the other. Major Caruso wrote a book about it, how they eked it out to different technological businesses because they don't have to say what they're doing, whereas they can do a Freedom of Information Act, and the military has to tell you what it is. My ass, they redact the shit out of that. You can't even tell if it's got anything on there. It's just black streaks. You don't believe me? Trying to get something out of there. Oh, they'll send you a piece of paper, all right. That's fucking funny. Mm. I'm having a bit of Irish cream this morning. It was that kind of morning. Didn't want to get up. I mentioned I'd been at YouTube school trying to figure out, because I hadn't done this before, and I was trying to figure out how I could drop different videos and so forth to make sure I was doing it right, that I didn't step on anybody's toes or commit plagiarism, make sure it was legal for me to do such a thing, which is why it's just been me since I've been trying to do this. And I've learned you can do that, and I've learned how to do that. However, you have to pay for promotions and advertising. And I didn't start this to pay anything. I really didn't start it to make money, although that would be a nice bonus. It's just like I'm broke anyway. But I really wanted to make a social Woodstock. I wanted us to be able to talk. I wanted to reach out across the world. There's so many things that are scary as hell out there right now. If Yellowstone blows, like it's an end of life event, it's an ELE. They thought they had one big chamber that was going. There are three. This is a super volcano. When it goes, it's an ELE. Now, something's happening because you've got the big wigs. I can't even say just billionaires because that doesn't even come close to what money they've got. But Pixie, I have been all these underground bunkers, and I mean they're nice. Hell, I'd live in one just to get down. I don't know how she misses the stuff that's on the bar. The other thing I'm going to do is straighten this out and see if Robert will help me to with all the wires, and I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to, instead of broadcasting with this in the background, I'm going to try to see how it works with broadcasting the bar behind me. I'm probably not going to like the mirror much because people don't ever seem to come out well from behind. So I think we touched on most of the social issues and even what I did until midnight. So you've been properly bored. I'm going to be here all week. Just weep with me. Hit the like button, share, and tickle that bell. It's free. You can cancel it later. I so need those likes. I'm determined that I won't quit. I just will not quit. If you have any suggestions, any ideas, please, please, please throw them in the comments for me. Uh, there's several reasons why I won't quit. Um, Basically, people seem to expect me to fail in my endeavor. I don't like the word failure. I see no reason for me to fail at just simply speaking to everybody. There's social hippies here. We're all out here. I know we're not all that afraid of the government. Yes, there's a reason to fear the government. That's a given. We all remember Waco, Ruby Ridge. Most people, except for our age group, wouldn't know what Kent State was, but they've got Google and they can look up Kent State. And yes, the military will fire at you. You think Tiananmen Square was a problem? Read your American history. Hmm? They completely committed genocide on a people's, and it wasn't just a tribe, it wasn't just a nation of Native Americans. They erased them. There was just a couple left nations. They couldn't use their own language, they couldn't dress in their own clothing. They had to be American. They would not let their children go to an American school until 1966. People don't know that. It's not in the books. What little bit's in the books is they scalped all of the settlers. Well, that's because you went in and killed the women and children while the men were out trying to find some food to feed them. The horrendous things that was done to these people is not in your books. It's never going to be in your books. I think some have the Trail of Tears, and that was literally my husband's people. And those were the Creek Indians that were, I say Indians, Native Americans that were taken from the state of Georgia and Florida at the time. They confiscated everything they had, killed most of them, and then started marching them to Oklahoma, where the reservation still is today. And most of them died. Out of 5, 3 would die on the way. That's not such good odds. They were not in warm clothing. They weren't allowed to try to make warm clothing. They didn't get fed. It was horrendous. And it's why it's called the Trail of Tears, because so many died. So many died. And then they left them in a desert with no food, no clothes, no nothing. They expected them all to die. I think they even gave them the smallpox blankets to go. It's just horrific what was done. That's never talked about. I'd like to also know why it's not considered racist. And please, no hate mail. But why is it not considered racist to have Black History Month? Is there Irish History Month? Is there Scottish History Month? Chinese History Month? British History Month? Mexican History Month? American History Month? Well, damn. I think they need to catch up, don't you? We only have a History Month for one race. Then it should be for all Americans. Let's not have Black History Month. Let's have American History Month. Because I don't care if you're plaid. If you're an American, you're an American. It doesn't, and I'm not the only one who says so. Morgan Freeman said, stop it. All you do is encourage racism. And that is racism. To single out one particular race and say, you get a whole month. Wake up. We are all from somewhere else. And if you look at your history, you will find that every race on the planet has been enslaved or completely exterminated at one time or another. So it's time for everybody to stop going, I'm this, an American. Just be a freaking American. And if you don't like what America's doing, get the hell out. We give succor to the poor, the hungry, your sheltering masses. We still do that. And what are you people doing that came here and got money, went to hotels, stepping over my homeless veterans who's sleeping in the street? What'd you do? You murdered, you raped, you stole, and you didn't have to go to jail. I want to know why. I want my government to explain to me why a sanctuary city has not called civil war. Because in my mind, and according to my constitution, that's civil war. You have just gone against the Union, which would be the United States. You can't declare a city anything but a city. You can't tell your government that we're going to have 15 million people here that don't follow the law, that are murderers, and we're going to give them sanctuary. But they have, and they've done it for decades. And it's time to arrest every damn treasonous bastard who's done it, excuse my French, and put them in jail, under the jail, and leave them there. Leave them there. How many more girls have to die? How many more girls have to die? Well, that stupid ass that you people want to call president mispronounces their given names. She died for nothing. Nothing. Except that it was okay for that murdering creep to come across our borders and murder her for no reason and gets away with it. He's got a record a mile long. He was always let go. Why is that? Just you can't make it up. And I look at my time and I think, I guess you guys don't need a lecture. It's not really entertainment. But at the same time, is anybody seeing this? This is why I said we need a social Woodstock. We all need to raise our voices. How else are we going to do that? How else? How else do we say, okay, I can't do this anymore. I want you guys to stop. I don't want you to do this. You work for me. You get my tax money. I'm fidgeting again. You get our tax money. We supposedly vote you in. You're fired. How about that? Let's get together. Let's get together and see. Am I right? Am I wrong? Are there other things that we could do? Is there even any way to start a forum of just social networking, of just talking about it? I think that all of us are talking about it. I watch Joe Rogan. I watch a lot of people, and I've gotten more and more into watching Joe. And he has a lot of good guests, which I haven't gotten to that stage yet, and I don't do advertising yet. And my family is not. I thought they would support me. Most of my things, equipment was bought by my family. And I don't see that support like I thought it would. But that's true. That's, everybody to their own thing. Again, that's another hippie phrase, everybody's got their own thing. Float your own boat. I hold no animosity towards anyone for any reason. That's, again, a waste of emotion, and it's not needed. No, we don't need hate. There's enough hate on this planet to kill every man, woman, and child if an emotion could kill people. It's frightening. Why in God's name is the United States building a floating dock so that they can add aid to the Gazans when there's hundreds of trucks sitting there that they can't have because shock of shocks. Who's got them? The terrorists. What is it? What does it take before the UN stops funding UNRWA? What does it take for our country to say you don't get any more of our money? We have homeless and we have people who's coming across our southern border. We're having to put in schools and hotels. We don't worry about our homeless. We worry about the worst of it. I mean, terrorists came through. How many? Well, we know several murders came through because they've already done it again. And they've done everything, as far as I can see, judicially, illegally, to a former president to keep them from running because the entire United States is screaming they want him back because he stopped the payments to the UN. He stopped the payments to who? Who, by the way, the World Health Organization paid for that Chinese virus to be invented. And then they kept this prisoner for 2.5 years while business after business closed. Kids couldn't graduate with their classmates, they couldn't go to school. But people could go and riot. You couldn't go to church, but you could go to Walmart. Now, you tell me that this was not done wrong, because I will come shake your hand if you can explain to me how this was done right. And I'm a veteran. I would defend my country even today, but I'm ashamed of the people who are running it and spitting in our face. Nor do I think that any veteran is a homegrown terrorist. And we do take umbrage at that title, by the way. So I wouldn't say that to a veteran's face. It may not turn out well, even if it was me. Probably if it was me, I'd need bail. We were the first company of women to train with the men, and we made it. And we actually beat the men. I said, you can bend, but if you break it, it'll be because I broke you, not them. And I meant it. And I'm only 5'2", but I come from Chicago, and my red hair can kick in very quickly. And I wasn't going to let them beat us, and I didn't. And because of that, you have women firefighters, you have women pilots, jet fighter pilots. It was all whack before. We were the first. Bravo 3. We were Bravo 3rd Battalion at Fort Jackson. I didn't see anybody give us a medal or recognition. You talk about some surprised women. We were all going to go be waxed, and we got off the plane, and oh, surprise, you get to get trained by Vietnam Airborne Rangers. Don't you know they love the hell out of us? They go crazy if they saw lipstick on you. No makeup. Don't do that sachet. You're not women anymore. And which I was just so tired, and I would just crack up. So my nickname became Wicked. I was always born a little stupid. Yeah. So now that how that went. At least we made it through, and the ones behind us did too. I'm so proud. Um, I have my son's first child. His mother had two other sisters. He has two half sisters, and his half sister is airborne ranger in the army now. And she jumps out of airplanes and kills people. Love that. And she's beautiful. Her name is Jamie. And she's tight. I mean, I love it. I love it. Her brother's already out of the army. She says she will stay as a career, so I hope she does that. Smart as a web, and she's a little bitty thing like me. She's like, I think she's 5'3", but a little bitty thing like me, and she's got a chest full now, so she's doing great. She's there. Let's see. I think this is her 4th year. There was only a year, I think, between the two, between my grandson Nathaniel and his half sister Jamie. But she is tearing them up. I love that. I love that. I love that. So let's see. What else I was going to talk to you about, because I'm going to run out of time. But I know. It does feel like you get up here and you beg people, and then you look at your analytics, and then your heart drops because you go, oh, sugar. Yeah, nobody likes me. Nobody paid any attention. And it would be hard to, especially if you don't have YouTube. I keep hearing from some people they don't have YouTube, but YouTube is free. If you just go to the YouTube channel and say you want to download it, and you download it, and then you put your password key in, and then you pull up your password, and that's all you have to do, and it's free. But do be careful to not pull up YouTube Premium, because YouTube Premium is where you would have to pay to have it every month. But it's free. You just have to download YouTube, and I think that's, some people think if they download it they have to pay for it, but you don't on YouTube unless it's premium. So make sure you're not paying for YouTube Premium. Just download YouTube. YouTube only, and then you can see me. The ones of you who do catch me on Facebook, you can say like, you can subscribe to, even though it's Facebook, it's connected somehow. So you can still make those algorithms go up for me, guys. If I can get to 1,000, just to 1,000, then I can go and get a Patreon line, and I can start doing things even more so than what this talk and that talk is about. Um, I know you guys are out there. I've said for 40 years that we gave up. We didn't give up. We turned a blind eye. We had kids, we had bills, we had jobs, usually 2 jobs. And in my case, I'm Army, and I'm all over the planet. And before you know it, your grandkids are grown and they themselves are in the Army. So life took over, but we still have a second chance. No, Jimi Hendrix isn't going to play. I wish, but we can put music on. I'm through the thing. I've gone through their training to do this. I could pay them, and I could do things now. But if I don't have the viewership, um, I'd just be throwing good money out with bad, and I don't want to do that. Nor do I give up. I know you're out there, guys. Come sit at the bar with me. Talk to me. What's going on in this planet? Why is this person, this demented guy, not in a hospital? Why? Why is he still running around and saying he's the American president? I haven't figured out why we think we're so smart and we're so good that we can tell another country, hey, you have to stop this now. You have to watch out for the civilians. I got news for you jackasses. Excuse me. But the IDF has been looking out for the citizens since it started. Gordon Robertson on CBN, and I like him. I used to stay away from it because it was very religious and in your face, but it's not now. It's a news program, and yeah, they are Christians, and that's fine, and I admire them for that. But they've done the reporting that they do is not because they're Christian. They're reporting the news like Walter Cronkite, who I miss dreadfully. So I'd been watching, and I really like Gordon Robertson, which surprised me because I couldn't watch his father. It was all hell and brimstone. I don't like to be preached at. I know my Bible very well. I read it constantly, and several others to see who did what to when and what part shouldn't be there and is there, and yada. So I was surprised again that I liked him, and he just came back from a 2-week vacation in Israel, and he, of course, took video and all that while he was there. And the first thing he did when he got off the plane is they went for a walk to get some sunshine because it helps with the jet lag, and he's very right about that. Because I had a 10-hour flight every time I left Germany or whoever, back and forth. And that's a rough flight because you're literally losing a day or you're gaining a day. It depends. But it'll hit you right between the eyes. Suddenly you're just to get you. So he actually showed there's a bunch of women in their burqas and stuff. They were Palestinian women, and they were together. There must have been 5, 6 of them, all eating an ice cream cone. Nobody was bothering them. Nobody was harassing them. They were completely safe. They were talking and laughing and eating an ice cream cone. And this was in Tel Aviv. So the Israelis are not trying to hurt any Muslim. They defend the Golden Dome against people who want to blow it up, which would be the Palestinians, by the way. So the truth needs to be out there. And it's like he showed it. And then they went to the kibbutzes that had been, where they slaughtered everybody in horrific ways. And they went to one 23-year-old woman's home. She ran a daycare for kids. And the blood was, I have to bear witness. Just as I watched the black and white reels and saw the Nuremberg trials, and I actually went to Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen, and when I was over there, and do not make the mistake of thinking that these were in Germany. They were in Poland, and there were more than just four. Just so you know, look it up. And you know you're coming up on these places miles before you do. I can't describe it. It's horrific. It's beyond horrific. Um, so this stuff happened, people. It's all I can do not to want to slap some privileged Karen who says, "Oh, this never happened." Go and look at the Holocaust Museum. Look at the room full of baby shoes, the room full of glasses. It, investigate for yourself what could be true and what's not true. I dare you. Because if you're a person and you see this and you're not crying, you need to be off the planet, because this isn't a small thing. I've got a small thing myself, though. Oh, I'm a little apple this morning. I'm a little bit of an apple. I'm gonna let you figure that out. I see I'm still lecturing, but I'm running out of time. I got up here this morning and I thought I'm not going to have anything to say, and I say that every morning. Um, other than I'm not going to quit until they make me quit. I cannot believe for the life of me, and I get views. Again, I may be on too long. I don't know. And again, I'm new at this. I went through the training on the other part so that I would learn to make sure I was doing things right. In order for me to do that, though, I have to pay for the promotion and all that. And I didn't see a need to do that. It's not why I got up here. I mean, I might. It depends on the viewership. I am depending on all of you guys. At first, I really did think that I would have some support from family and friends. Now, I don't actually have any direct family. I'm adopted, and even though the birth family found me, they have all passed away, and that's a rather sorry and long story. um, I do have family on my husband's side, but I'm afraid that didn't turn out well either. They pretty much don't care for me, and I don't care for them. Another long story, and a book should be written about them. I'm a published author as well. Um, I don't know if it's because I want to prove everybody else wrong, or if I want to prove myself right, or if it's because I think we need to do this. Personally, I'm going to see. I think we need to do this, and I think we could do it very well. I think we could do it so well. We can do social Woodstock. We can get up here and talk to each other. You can leave comments in there and I can address them. We can do this together. I can't do it without you. And I really know we're going to do this. It doesn't take anything. It's free. The same with the channel. If you just download the channel, throw yourself a password on there, it's free. Do not put in premium, because then you would be signing up and it would cost you to do the premium. The premium just would be, you would not have the commercials. And now they have commercials, I'm sorry to say. But you would just, if you can't, when you get the YouTube, if I can spit this out right, you just go in under search for Lady Hippy. And Hippy is with a Y, not an IE. The younger generation seems to think it's an IE. We spelled it with a Y. And I'm not going to change that at my age. And yes, I'm a hippie. I'm also a baby boomer, at least age-wise. But I can't do it without you. And I don't want to do it without you. It's not social Woodstock without you. It's not anything without you. Come up here. Talk to me. Talk to the world. Let's get together. Get up to the bar. When you're talking to me, get you a nice little, get you a stiffener. Whatever you like. Apple cider, whatever it is. Tea, if that's your stiffener. You don't have to have alcohol. You know, just get up here and put down what you think needs to be discussed. Is it the fluoride in the water? Is it the militarized police? Is it the fact that you have 11 million illegal aliens and they're shooting you and they're stealing you stuff and they're walking over homeless veterans to live in a hotel for 5 months? Is it the $10,000 on their card and the free phones and the Adidas shoes? And is any of that bothering you? Do you think that this is the way our money should be spent? Do you think that we should tell another country that had a horrific massacre that they shouldn't be doing what they're doing? Do you think that global jihad is not in place? I got news for you, cupcakes. Global jihad was in place in 9/11. They're just tweaking it. How do you think this Omar, or whatever she is? What in God's name were you people thinking? Really? What makes you think she doesn't act like a terrorist? Every word out of that woman's mouth is hate America. Hate America. Literally hates America. What were you thinking? Somebody come out here besides me and talk to me about this and anything else. So far, the Black Hawks haven't landed on my lawn and shot at me, so we must be okay. There are other people out there that are so smart. I've talked to them on Facebook. Now, I don't know, again, what the problem is about YouTube, but I need you guys. If you see this at all, and I'm going to move this spiel to the front, tell me what's wrong. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I'm doing right. Like the channel, tickle the bell, subscribe. It's 20 seconds to take it off. It's free if you want it. We've got to get it to 1,000. And then we can do all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's awesome what we can do with this. If I get the viewers, I gotta have you. There's so much going on right now, that we can all talk for days and still not run out of stuff to talk about. Stuff there. My nails keep getting caught. I try to look decent most days. This is, I've scared mailmen without makeup, so I'm sorry. It is for entertainment purposes that I've not been very entertaining. And I see I'm running up on my scheduled time. So instead of groveling further or getting angry at the fact that we're being incredibly stupid and that a lot of our money is going places that we never wanted it to go, and we got a lot of chutzpah to tell another country who's had a massacre like they had in Israel that they're wrong. It's nuts. You've got more terrorists sitting on the UN board than you do good countries. And the UN's getting paid to do what? Can any, show hands? Nothing? Yeah, that's what I got to. Well, I think I may have heard my husband's truck, so I'm going to go ahead and power down because he doesn't like to be on camera. Come and help me out, guys. Hit like, share, subscribe. It's free. And I need you guys. I need you really, 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 really need you. You don't have to watch the whole program. Hit like, put something in the comments that you want to talk about or that you think I shouldn't talk about or that you did like that I talked about. Just something. Anything. You don't have to watch the whole hour. You can just throw something in there because that's what you would like to see. But subscribe for me, guys. I need 1,000 and I'm not there yet. I've got a ways to go. And the ones of you who stuck with me, I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. I just can't. I just, lots of hugs to everybody. We'll put it that way. You guys mean so much to me. I appreciate all of you so very, very much. Please come and help me. Come sit down at this bar. Show me I'm not crazy. Come up here and talk to me and tell me what you think. I would be just on the moon. I'd be walking on air forever. Come and talk to me, please. Hit that like, put that comment in so I can talk back to you. Come on the live chat. I always have live chat on. I'm on between 10 and 12 every day. I don't take a day off because I want you guys to tell me what is going on, what you want to talk about. And I want to use this as the medium that it should be. It should be the rest of us walking around, reaching out. It doesn't matter if you're in Belgium. I don't care if you're in Iceland. I don't care if you're in New York. Reach out. Let's talk to each other. It's free. I really, really adore all of you. And I can't wait to hear from you. Please come and like me. Or not like me, but put something in those comments. Let's do something. Let's show the world that millions of us can do a social Woodstock on YouTube. We can. Toodles, guys.